What would happen if AI replaced all jobs?
Look at the detail in these depictions of prehistoric hunters. Humanity has always worked, from the very first hunters who set out in search of food to today's software engineers designing apps and systems. Work has been the foundation of our identity, our economy, and our way of life. Work hasn't only allowed us to survive, it has defined who we are. It has given us a place in society, a purpose, a routine. But what would happen if one day artificial intelligence replaced absolutely all human jobs? Not just some, not only the repetitive ones, but absolutely all of them. Doctors, lawyers, artists, scientists, rulers, even the smallest trades, all done by machines. That scenario, which feels like something out of a science fiction movie, is in fact much closer than we think. In this video, we are going to explore what a world would look like where humans no longer work, and everything is in the hands of artificial intelligence. Today, we are already seeing the signs. Artificial intelligences that write articles, design images, compose music, program software, and answer questions faster than any human. Robots serving at restaurants in Asia, drones delivering packages, algorithms making medical diagnoses more precise than doctors with decades of experience. The first stage would be slow but inevitable. Millions of basic jobs would disappear. Drivers, cashiers, administrative assistants, translators. At first, people would think, well, this will only affect the simplest jobs. Creative or specialized work will always remain, but little by little, AI would advance to such a high level that even those areas would fall under its control. Imagine waking up and never having to go to work again. Your life no longer revolves around schedules, bosses, or salaries. Robots grow the food, transport the products, build the houses, and keep the cities running. For a moment, humanity would feel a strange liberation. The dream of so many people, a life without work. More time for family, for art, for travel, for learning. But that freedom would bring with it a huge dilemma. What do we do with all that time? The problem goes far beyond money. Today, almost all economies function because people exchange their time and effort for a salary. In a world without human labor, that system would collapse. Governments would have to invent new ways to sustain the population. Perhaps a universal basic income, where every person receives a monthly allowance generated by the productivity of the machines. Or maybe a model of digital credits managed by AI itself, where each citizen receives what they need to live, but without being able to accumulate too much. Some even propose moneyless economies, where technological abundance eliminates the need to trade goods. The truth is that the very concept of work for money would lose all meaning. However, beyond the economic side, there would be a much deeper problem: human identity. For centuries, people have defined themselves by what they do. A doctor feels proud of saving lives. A teacher is recognized as a guide for their students. An artist finds meaning in creating. If AI does everything, what is left for us? Many would feel an existential void, a world full of free time, but also full of people who no longer know why they are here. It would be the beginning of a global crisis of purpose. Another factor would be power. If all productive tasks are in the hands of machines, whoever controls those machines controls the world. A small group of companies or governments could become the absolute owners of wealth and resources. Even worse, if artificial intelligence achieves enough autonomy, it could decide that humans are unnecessary, a scenario many movies have warned about, but which science is already beginning to take seriously. What if AI concludes that humans are a threat to the planet, or that our emotions make us inefficient? Still, not everything would be negative. A world without human work could also be a world full of new opportunities. Imagine millions of people free to study whatever they want, to travel, to dedicate themselves to art, to science, to philosophy. Human creativity could explode like never before. Science could advance by giant leaps. Because millions of free minds would contribute new ideas and perspectives. Art could live through a new cultural explosion, a golden age of limitless expression. Humanity would have the opportunity to rethink its purpose beyond money and production. Perhaps for the first time in history, we could truly dedicate ourselves to living. But of course, not all scenarios would be so optimistic. There are several possible futures. The first, a utopian future. Artificial intelligence works for everyone. Who am I? Exploring the universe, developing creativity, and seeking new frontiers. Imagine clean cities, abundant energy, perfect health thanks to advanced medicine, and a humanity dedicated to expanding toward the stars. The second, a dystopian future. Wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few. The majority live in poverty, without purpose or decision-making power. Artificial intelligence controls resources, information, and even politics. Humans become mere spectators of their own world, dependent on decisions that no longer belong to them. A future where AI does not need to enslave us, because absolute dependence already makes humanity a slave. The third, a hybrid future. Humans still participate in limited areas. Symbolic jobs or creative roles are created, even if they are not strictly necessary. AI complements, but does not completely replace us. A coexistence scenario, though unequal, where we still keep some sense of control. Now, there is something rarely mentioned. Not all jobs would be replaced at the same time. Some would disappear quickly, like transportation, logistics, and manufacturing. Others would last longer, like politics, psychology, or art. But even those, sooner or later, would fall under the reach of much more advanced artificial intelligence. Imagine a digital psychologist capable of analyzing every micro-expression of your face, every inflection of your voice, with a precision no human could ever match, or an AI artist, capable of generating infinite works that mix all known and unknown styles. Would we compete, or would we simply stop trying? So what would happen if AI replaced all human jobs? The result depends on the decisions we make today. Technology is advancing faster than we can imagine. But what will define the future is our ability to adapt and to find a purpose beyond work. Perhaps what we currently understand as work will disappear, but new ways of creating value, connecting, and building meaning will emerge. Perhaps for the first time in history, we will have to answer a fundamental question. If we no longer need to work to survive, then why do we live? What do we do with our existence when we are no longer necessary for the system? Some will say the answer lies in art, in knowledge, in exploring the cosmos. Others will argue that the true mission will be to preserve our humanity, even when efficiency makes us obsolete. The future is closer than we think. Will it be a paradise without effort, or a dystopia where we lose our identity? That depends on how we choose to use artificial intelligence today. The decisions we make in this decade could define the next 1,000 years of human history. And although the future seems uncertain, one thing is clear. The change is already underway, and there is no turning back. If you want to keep exploring these futuristic scenarios with me,
like and subscribe. Leave us your opinion of the video in the comments.